Today we'll be working through paper 1 from May-June 2024, variant 1. Let's get started with this. Here is the text for exercise 1. Read the blog written by a teenager called Lana Bridges about her hobby and then answer the question. So you know the drill, right? Read the text before answering any question. In fact, before even looking at the question. So if I can just try and squeeze this in. So the title of the text is cosplay, and this is the entire text that you're able to see on screen. So let me know when you're done reading and we'll move towards the questions. Then let's move to the questions now. And again, as we've learned, let's read all the questions first. So I'll zoom out a bit. Right, those are all the questions. Read through them, and then we'll start answering them one by one. Right. So question 1, when was the term cosplay invented? If you have an answer, you can speak up.
1984.
1984. Aima, do you have a similar response? Or the same, in fact? All right, so 1984 is correct. Next question. What type of cosplay does Lana prefer?
Is it fantasy?
It is. All right, so it says here, anyway, cosplay isn't all about science fiction. Although I like that, fantasy is what I choose before anything else. So that shows her preference for fantasy. Question 3. What is the most famous cosplay contest called?
Cosplay Summit.
Right. So the full answer actually would be the World Cosplay Summit. You need to add world over it. The best known of all is the World Cosplay Summit. Question 4. What type of character is Lana planning in to be next in cosplay?
A non-human role?
Correct. What I'm preparing for now is a non-human. Alright, so a non-human character or a non-human role. Just saying non-human would also work. Question 5. How would Lana like to make money from cosplay in the future?
Taking photographs at cosplay events? Is it that?
It is. Ima, this is June 2024, paper 1, variant 1, right? So it's QP11. If you look at the folder or if you look it up online, it's QP11, right? S24, that's June 24 or summer 24, QP11. Right, Afan. So taking photographs or selling photographs or charging for photographs, right? Any of those. So that would be correct. And then coming to the last question, which I believe is worth 3 marks. How has Lana benefited from doing cosplay? Give 3 details. They're asking for 3 means there's about 4 of them in the text. You need 3. Right? So how has she benefited from doing cosplay? 3 details. That's on the entire text. So you've got the whole thing on screen. Let me just fit that in. And so 3 points from the entire text of how she has benefited from cosplay.
It's that uh, I've made so many friends since I took it up, and then Lana has also gained confidence and learned to sew.
Good. Just a minute. Right. So made many friends, gained confidence, and learned to few. And there's another one, right? Become more creative. Right. So that could have also been an answer. Okay. So we were quick with exercise 1. Let's keep that momentum going. Exercise 2. Read the article about 4 people A to D who enjoy wild swimming and then answer questions 7A to I. So let me just zoom out and fit all of this. Right. So wild swimming, swimming outdoors in rivers, lake, and the sea. That's the title. And you can see all 4 texts on screen. Let me know when you're done reading so we can move towards the questions. All right, so let's move towards the questions, and I'll keep it at this zoom so you can see all 4 texts. Now we know how this works. To choose between letters A, B, C, or D for each idea. So the first one is, which person suggests why wild swimming is better than swimming in a pool? Why wild swimming is better than swimming in a pool? A, B, C, or D? Do you have a response, Afan?
No, I'm still reading.
Hmm.
Is it C?
It is C, yes. And so it says over here, I swim indoors regularly too, but given the choice between fresh air and chemicals, I know which I'd go for. And so the reason for preferring wild swimming is the fresh air. Okay, next. Which person explains why they avoid saying where they swim? Which person avoids saying wear this?
B.
It is B, yes. Right, because he says, uh, right, as regular swimmers like me value our private places, so I tend not to reveal. Okay. Part C says that they prefer to go wild swimming alone.
A.
It is A, yes. Right, so it says, I must admit though that it's the occasions when I have only myself for company that I appreciate the most. Mentions that they were supposed to see some wildlife wild swim. Sorry, surprised, not supposed. Mentions that they were surprised to see
That's
some.
D, I think so.
It is D, right? So she mentions a seal popping up right next to her. So it is D. It's describes the effect that wild swimming has on their state of mind. Any ideas?
No. Is it B?
It is not. Do you see something in B that tells you about the state of mind?
Mentally, the first line.
Well, it says swimming is good for you both physically and mentally. So it's not giving you exactly about the state of mind. It's healthy for your body and for your mind. The question's more specifically asking about the effect it has on your state of mind. So how you're feeling.
It's A.
It is a without exception, I emerged feeling more positive than when I got in. F says that they will go wild swimming whatever the weather.
Is it B?
What makes you think it's B?
Um, 1 minute. Yeah. But otherwise, you'll find me out there most times of the year, sometimes even in the winter months when the thought of getting into cold water isn't the most appealing.
That does seem like a valid option, but it's not B. So perhaps there's
Or is it D?
it's D, right? Because that is more clearly given. So as far as
D?
I'm concerned, it doesn't matter how cold or wet it is, I'll
Okay,
turn.
there have been some occasions where I've been the only one there.
Well, this line, the one that you're reading, there have been some occasions when I've been the only one there, and I admit I'll still go in on my own, right? This maybe related to the weather, but this could also be, well, they're so enthusiastic that they don't need to wait for company. But the one that's really giving you the answer is the one before, which I highlighted, right? It doesn't matter how cold or wet it is, I'll turn on. And so that means that the weather doesn't concern me, right? The nuance over here is, over here it says in B, which you pointed out, it says sometimes even in the winter months. So it's sometimes. Whereas the question is asking, right, that they will go wild swimming, whatever the weather. So here in D, she's not saying sometimes. She's saying it doesn't matter. I'll go. So that's why D is the better answer. Okay. G
Okay.
suggests that a memory of wild swimming might have been inaccurate. A memory of wild swimming might have been.
A.
Wait, no, not it. Right, I think you're going over here, which certainly isn't the impression given by images. Is that what you were going for?
Yes.
But images are not a
Yes.
memory, right? Something that he had experienced earlier, but
Then C.
it is. So he talks about my concern at the time about what features might have been, though that thought doesn't bother me anymore. Right? Okay. H. Give some advice for people who are new to Whiteside. Who gives advice to people who are new to Whiteside?
B.
B. Right? And so they said they're talking about going into cold water. To give the advice, the trick is to get into the water slowly, etc., till the end. Right? And finally, for this exercise, suggests that they have done something risky when wild swimming. They've done something risky.
D.
D, Anna, the last one.
Yes.
Right. And so she says, uh, right, there have been occasions where I've been the only one. And I admit that I'll still go on my own, though I'm well aware it's not a good idea. So that's taking a risk. And we're done with exercise 2. Good job. So let's continue on to exercise 3. Now, this is the one where you have to make notes, right? Now, as I always say, read the text first. So read through this, and then we'll look at what themes we need to focus on for the notes, and then we'll come back to it. So let me know when you're done. All right, let's see what they're asking us to do with the notes. Imagine you're going to give a talk to your classmates about reducing car use in cities. Use words from the article to help you write some notes. Make short notes under each heading. The first one is policies that have been introduced to reduce car use. You need 4 points. They have not given you any example point. So you need to find 4 of those, and that means there are about 5 in the text. You need to find 4. Question 9. What the writer has tried doing in order to reduce his own car use. So 3 points on that theme. Now, right, will you be finding points for both of these together, or will you be focusing on one at a time?
One at a time.
One at a time. Okay. So policies that have been introduced to reduce car use. Let's go to the text. Right. Be as quick as possible with this one, and let me know when you found all 4. Okay. All right, Afan, what do you have for policies that have been introduced to reduce car use?
It is removing parking places,
Mhm.
then charging drivers to enter parts of a city,
Mhm.
and then introducing parking charges outside the workplace,
Okay.
and downloading an app that records environmentally friendly trips around the city.
Okay, so three are correct. The last one isn't for this, or it's not for the policies. So you got remove parking places, charge drivers to enter parts of the city, and parking charges outside the workplace. There are two others. You needed one of these. One is car-free zones, and then there's better public transport. Okay, so those are 5 points for the
Okay.
first one. Uh, Now the second question, what the writer has tried doing in order to reduce his own carbon. So 3 points for this, which means there are about, uh, well, actually there are only three, right? They're not four for this, so just three. You have to find all of them. Again, let me know when you're done. Right, so I was just checking the mark scheme and there are actually 4 points. They've forgotten to put a bullet point next to the fourth point. And that's why it looks like three, so there are actually four available points. What are the two that you found?
It's that sharing a car
Okay.
and an e-bike, and I think the third point could be the app one where they record environmentally friendly tips around the city.
Okay, so sharing a car is correct. Renting a bike, so right, that would be the second point. Renting a bike, and then right, downloading an app or using mobile phone technology, right? Either of those. So downloading and they've downloaded an app. That's the one you're suggesting. So that is a valid point. Yes. And the fourth one is making a travel plan or getting personalized advice on ways to avoid car. All right. So that was also a possible point. Now, moving
Okay.
on to exercise 4. And we do have some time, so if you get this done quickly enough, I can assign you the writing tasks as homework. So here's the text for exercise 4. Can I zoom in a bit without missing the text? So this article is about a research laboratory called Toddler Lab, right? Science reporter Carolina Baker visits a laboratory where psychologists study toddlers, so children who are about 2 or 3 years old, and young children. So if I just scroll down from that introduction, yeah, so there's the text all on screen. Let me know when you're done reading. Right, so as you know, the questions for this exercise are MCQs. So if you can get it right, very good. If you need to go to the text, let me know. Question 10. Which one is it? A, B, or C?
I think it's B.
It is B, right? Because it clearly says she is a regular, there's nothing wrong with her, uh, apart from the fact that she's wearing a cap with wires sticking out. Okay, question 11. What information does the writer give in the second paragraph?
So can you go to the second?
Yeah.
paragraph. Can you go down to the question again? C.
It is C. Yes. Good. Question 12. Why is Serena asked to wear gloves?
C.
C. To record her movements. Good. Question 13. Serena begins her house building task by
B.
watching a short video. B. Good. Question 14. Serena's house building task is part of research into how young children.
Is it A?
It is A. Follow instructions. And lastly, question 15, the phrase as she does so in paragraph 5 refers to
B.
B, moving rapidly because she's running around, right? While she runs around doing this.
Yes.
Okay, good job. We breeze through that. Now the tasks. So informal email, that's always exercise 5 is an informal email. What is the question about? You have decided to help at a sports event that will take place in your town next month. Write an email to a friend about this. In your email, you should describe the sports event that you are going to help at. Say what you decide to say why you decide to help at the sports event. Explain what you will be doing at the sports. So, what that event is, describe that event, why you're helping out, and what you will be doing at that event. Right, 120 to 160 words. Any questions about this particular question? Exercise.
No.
Straightforward. Okay, good. Now let's see what we have for exercise number 6. We have a review, right? So review something to go over. You recently bought a copy of a new magazine which is aimed at teenagers. You decide to review the magazine. So a review is basically giving your opinions about something. And you will post the review on your school website. Here are some comments about the magazine from your friends. It's quite expensive. I prefer longer articles. They're interesting topics. I love the photos. All right, so you can see these two are, negative comments. These two are positive comments. All right, so you've got those. Write a review, so we'll go over that. The comments above may give you some ideas, and you should also use ideas of your own. So we know how to do that. Right, 120 to 160 words. Now let me just open up the review. How to write a review. Right, so this is a Cambridge document about writing a review. Right, the introductory stuff is all the same. The language is informal, right? It could be per se informal because it is your views, your opinions, right? And because you're writing it for friends, it's a magazine article. I mean, it is a review of a magazine articles that your friends and everyone have read, so it will be informal. It could be some cases where it may be more formal if you're writing for adults, but that's not the case here. Your review should be informative, persuasive, engaging. So the reader should want to read through it. You should give some information, so right, what the magazine was like, and you're trying to persuade them. So that is right optional, I guess, but you could try and write it in a way that the reader would agree with your point of view. A review should include functional language such as to inform, to give details, to analyze, so you're giving opinions for both negative and positive, and to advise, so that's the persuasion part, right? Make a final judgment. So you're saying, oh, well, should you read this? Shouldn't you read this? Should you get the magazine or not? It should also include topic related vocabulary, right? So it's a review of a magazine article. So you research some vocabulary that you would use to review a magazine, not a magazine article, the whole magazine, right? So topic related vocabulary. Avoid writing very simple sentences with simple repetitive vocabulary, such as nice or good. Organization. A review should be divided into paragraphs and these should be linked with a range of linking words such as what's more, that's why, as well as one way to structure your review is you can start, right? So there's an introductory paragraph, obviously, and then you can provide information about what is being reviewed. So that's the introductory paragraph. Then the body would be giving your opinion and highlighting the interesting points. And so you could have that as one paragraph or two, depending, right? You could split that in the positive and the negatives, and then give your final opinion. So your advice and what you think about it mostly, right? The positives and negatives again, right? So that could include the given comments as well as your own ideas, right? Okay, so they have, yeah, they have a sample over here. So the example over here says you recently visited a new shopping center in your town. You have decided to write a review of the center for your school magazine. Here are some comments. It's easy to get to, so that shopping center is easy to get to. Everything seems quite expensive. That's negative. It's a good place to meet friends. That's positive. We couldn't find a good sports shop, so that's negative, obviously. So write a review of the new shopping center for your school magazine. Okay, so it's a school magazine. What do we have here? Just a review. So they're not telling you where that review is going. So here's the sample, right? It's short and it's a mediocre response. It's 4, 10 to 15. One thing I right don't like about these samples, Cambridge gives like a middle response. It would have been nice if they gave the best possible response. The good thing, however, is that they've annotated what's good and what's not. And then if you read further, right, they give how the candidate could have improved this. So this is specific to the the sample response given, right? The common mistakes are common mistakes, so that's generalized, right? But this how the candidate could improve the answer gives detail about how this particular response could have been made better along with all these annotations. So let's just read through this very quickly. Oh, by the way, for a review, we should be putting in a heading, right? So a shopping center is a place where people visit to buy clothes, food, as well as furniture. It's not only used to purchase things, others can go there to meet friends as well as get fresh air. You can read the annotations later. Right, we're going to wrap this up, unfortunately. The new shopping center in our town that was recently opened overcame many problems that we had at the beginning. Right, so there's a problem over here. Right, I can identify the phrasing. We do not need to travel to other towns to purchase things. As a result, this says some punctuation over here. As a result, this saves time and money. Moreover, it is a good, so moreover is used as a good thing. It is a good place to meet friends as well as we will have a variety of shops that you can buy food, eat, as well as do window shopping. Okay. So, right, they say it's an attempt at less common vocabulary such as window shopping in a nutshell. However, everything that is sold there seems quite expensive, therefore people don't usually go there as the spending time takes them out of budget. Moreover, many shops that we also need, they are not there yet, so some grammatical punctuation structural issues over here. As a result, people are forced to change their plans of purchasing. Okay, in a nutshell, so that's going back over here that they mentioned. The shopping center really helped us, although there are some loopholes. Loopholes is not the word I would use, which we believe they will be fixed as time goes on. Now, if you read this, you will understand the phrasing, the sentence structure, the vocabulary, right? It is lacking, and so, right, we can understand the marks content and the language. So we got it's a mediocre response. But the point to note over here is the introduction, the positives and negatives, so their views, and then the conclusion. You would include an advice. Obviously, we want to do better than this. We don't want a mediocre response. We want a high scoring response. And so, yeah. Right. By the way, this is available on my drive. Right. If you go into the resources folder, you'll find the writing a review. If you want to take a look at that again. And so I will post both of these exercises separately on Google Classroom for you to do. And I hope you find time until our next class to have them done and submit. All right.
Okay.
Any questions?
No.
All right. If there are any questions, in, until our next class, obviously, put them in WhatsApp.
Okay.
All right. Then I'll see you next time, inshallah.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah.